You're like, okay, I have my list, I pick my platform, well, what do I say? So here's what you do. You look for 30 seconds to see what's new in that person's life. You look at their social media, you look at their business, you look anywhere you can find stuff, you type their name into a search engine, you see what comes up, all right? And then you ask them about it. Notice, is there anything icky about asking somebody who you know about themselves? First rule of Dale Carnegie, people love talking about themselves. Let them. This is pretty easy, right? We're moving through this pretty quick. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. So what we're doing there is we personalized. Instead of just saying, hey, want to buy my thing, you say, hey, saw you had a baby. Hey, saw you just moved cities. Hey, saw you played guitar at that thing this weekend. It looks awesome. How was it? Then you reach out. Now, obviously, some of these things happen at the same time. I separate them out for steps just for simplicity. All right? And so then, here's what you do. You reach out to 100 people every single day via email, phone call, direct message, SMS, voicemail, whatever it is. And you reach out to the person who knows you. And you do 100 every day. And this is one of my favorite Chinese proverbs. Everything must be hard before it can be easy. And so if you're like, man, this is going to be hard. Well, I promise you that you probably waited 20 years to do the first one, but you only wait 2 minutes to do the second one, and then 20 seconds to do the third one. And it gets easier the more you do. All right? And again, your big fear is of getting rejected. I'll tell you how to get around that in a second. Not the fear. I'll just show you what you need to say so you don't even get into that situation. All right? And when you do this, you're like, well, do I reach out to them once? No. Reach out to them multiple times. Why? Because you have something that you think might help them. They don't know that yet, but all we're doing is ask them about themselves. Again, we haven't done any soliciting. We haven't sold anything at all. We're just asking them about themselves. All right? And the reason you do it this way is you act like you actually want to talk to them. So like if you actually want to talk to your mom or your dad or pick some person you like, what would you do? Would you text them once? No. You text them, you call them. And then a couple hours later, you text them, call them, like, hey, what's up? Hey, where are you? Right? Because you act like you're actually trying to get a hold of them, not work them like a lead. You act like a human being, and people respond like a human being. Crazy. Okay. So, got our list, we picked our platform, we personalized it, and then we reach out to 100 people, and we do each of those 3 times. Now, some people are going to respond. What do I say now? Use the ACA framework. Acknowledge, compliment, ask the next question. All right? This is also, by the way, how you have a conversation. Pro tip. So, acknowledge. Acknowledge what they said, and then restate it to show that you're listening. Now, in a phone call, that's called mirroring. Right? It's something that people actually like people who mirror them. And it sounds ridiculous. Now, don't be a weirdo about this. All right? It's just showing that you're listening to what they're saying, and it shows that you're paying attention to them. Because the 3 things that reward people are attention, affection, and approval. All right? So we're showing attention and approval by paying attention to what they're saying and then saying it back. So it shows we approve it. All right? And so, like, example, 2 kids, and you're a full-time accountant, and they just told you that they have 2 kids and they're a full-time accountant. Like, wow. Now we go to C. Now we compliment them. Man, you're a super mom. So hardworking. And you're managing a full-time career with 2 kids. That's crazy, right? And so what you do is you compliment them on whatever it is they told you about themselves, all right? And ideally, if you want to go super here, tie it to a positive character trait if you can, all right? So if you want to say that, see, it says hardworking, all right? You want to tie that thing they are to a trait. Because what we're going to do later is we're going to use that trait and associate our thing with the trait we associated them with. And so then they're going to see I equals should buy this product because they want to maintain that positive trait in your eyes because they want your attention, your affection, and approval. So we've acknowledged what they said. We give them a compliment about it. We associate with a label that's positive. And you might be like, this sounds like a lot. It's going to be via message or via email, and maybe it's a phone call. You'll get some reps in. And guess what? You're going to blow in the beginning, and that's okay. Because guess what? If you do 1,000 of these, you'll blow less than you did at the beginning. That is a promise. All right? And so that's guaranteed. And so if you know you can blow less in the future, then you might as well get the blowing now today out of the way. All right? So the last A is you ask the next question. And so here's the key part. Like, this is the key. Is you lead the conversation in a direction closer to your offer. So if I have that mom who has 2 kids, now, mind you, she didn't bring up anything. She just, I have 2 kids in my account. Okay. Well, there's nothing new there. That's fine. I use a purposely boring scenario to show you how this works. So if I were selling therapy, then I say, hey, do you ever get time for yourself? If I was selling fitness, I say, hey, do you have time to get workouts in? Or how do you prep your food? Or how do you prep your food for yourself and your family? These are all ways that I could weave that in. If I was selling cleaning services, I would say, hey, do you have anyone who helps you around the house? It doesn't matter what they said in the beginning. You can still ask and lead the conversation in whatever direction you want. ACA. Acknowledge what they said, compliment them for saying it, and then ask a question that leads them one step closer to what we're ultimately going to offer them. Okay? Again, I'm going to say this because I want you to know that you're providing value. All right? This is what's crazy about this. People love talking about themselves. Let them. They love it so much that they pay therapists $100 an hour to listen. All right? And so you are providing value to people that they pay $100 an hour for simply by listening and paying attention. All right? And they will also like and trust you more if you do. And if people like you and trust you more, you will make more money. That is a promise. And that makes them more likely to buy from you. We want that. So now we reach out to them. They responded. We do ACA to warm them up. We take the next step. And here's the key. We make them an offer. What we're doing here, remember that lead magnet we made earlier? Well, now we're going to use it. So if you have your core offer, you can make a core offer, or my recommendation, you can use the lead magnet. All right? Give away the free or discounted thing so that they want to take a step towards you. All right? And here's what to say. All right? So I try to make this as simple as humanly possible. Now, the key here is that when we make the offer, we're actually not offering it to them. We will be offering it to their friends. Key distinction. No one wants to be hawked shit. No one wants to be pitched stuff. But what you are doing is you're gonna ask them if they know anybody. All right, so you say, hey, by the way, do you know anybody who's described the struggles that you think this person's dealing with or already has said they are? Who's looking to whatever the outcome of the thing that you sell is in a certain period of time that they can expect to get the outcome? I'm taking on 5 case studies for free because that's all I can handle right now, implied scarcity. I just wanna get some testimonials for my service. Reason why? I help them dream outcome without the things they hate. It works. I even guarantee it. So I even guarantee people get the dream outcome, or I work with them until they do. I just had a girl named Sarah work with me to get the thing that you just told me you wanted, even though she had the same struggle that you described to me. And I also had a guy named Tom, and it was his first time. And we're showing 2 different things. One is we're showing an ideal prospect, and then we're also showing the fact that you don't have to be really good, and even if it's the first shot, they can do it. I used to even joke when I was selling weight loss. I was like, I even had a girl who didn't speak English who used the meal plan. It was so easy. And so people are like, okay, well, somebody who could speak English could do it, then I guess I could do it too, right? It tells them subconsciously that it's an easy thing for them to do, right? And so moving back to the script, I just like more testimonials to show it works across different scenarios. So does anyone you like come to mind? And at that point, they'll either say yes or no. Now, 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, fuck my friends. Like, I'm interested, right? But if they don't, and they say no, then you say, haha, does anyone you hate come to mind? And then it kind of helps you break the ice there. That's why I say, does anyone you like, any friends you like come to mind that might like benefit from this, that can help out with this, that might be interested in this? What I don't want is for you to take this word for word. I want you to take the ideas and apply it to yourself and use your own, like if you never say something this way, then don't say it this way. Say it your way. And again, this is where the reps comes in. And you'll learn the reps and you'll learn how to say it and then it'll sound like you. All right, but these are the core things we're saying here. And you'll notice from the first book, we're actually hitting the 4 elements of the value equation. We talk about the dream outcome, the perceived likelihood of achievement is implied because we show multiple testimonials in our little mini pitch. We talk about the time delay, how quickly, and we talk about how we can do it without the effort and sacrifice. All of those things in a short statement. Now you can do this via email, you can do it on the phone, you can do it via message, and this might be broken up into 2 or 3 messages back and forth, but fundamentally, this is what we're communicating, all right? Now, I like that. Do you have a friend who comes to mind? Because you can also say, okay, well, do you have an enemy who comes to mind? It's just like, it breaks the ice and makes it seem like way less pressure, okay? And that breaks the awkwardness. Because remember, this is the big underlining point. You are not soliciting them. You're asking them if they know anybody who would like the thing. And so in that way, you can basically sidestep all the ick associated with pitching stuff or that you've maybe been pitched or have negative experiences, okay? And so, not asking them to buy, we're asking if they know anyone, and we're asking if they know anyone who wants something for free. We're not even asking them to buy. We're asking if they want our lead magnet. That's massively discounted or free altogether. Do you know anybody who would want my book on leads? I just wrote it, it's free. Do you know any business owners who could benefit from that? Local businesses or national, either would work. Actually, well, tell me more about it. They showed interest in the thing we have to sell. 1 step forward. Now we have a conversation. And so if you have even less time, so you're like, man, that's a lot of stuff. Basically, you're saying, hey, I help ideal customer get dream outcome in this time period without effort and sacrifice. And I've done this a lot of times. Here's some examples. All right, and this is the short and sweet version that works well for email, text, DMs, calls, in person, just fill in the blanks, okay? So I was thinking about putting this separately, but I'm gonna include this right now, is that there are 11 ways to increase perceived likelihood of achievement, because I said it was one of the 4 variables. And so what we wanna do is weave as many of these in as we can without seeming overwhelming. And now you might not have all of these, but highlight the ones you do have. So one is we show proof that we have done what they want. So if I lost 100 pounds, or if I had a mental breakdown and then I no longer do, or I used to have a really messy house and I don't anymore, like whatever it was, or I had friends who had messy houses and I helped them clean it, I just tell my story. That's level 1. Level 2 is I show proof of people just like them getting what they want. This is stronger. The more people you show like them getting the outcome they want, the more likely they'll think that you can deliver it to them. 3 is just showing a sheer volume of happy reviews. Here's all the 5 stars I've gotten. Here's 100, Google 5-star reviews I have to show that. And if you're in an in-person setting, you can actually screenshot them and then post them in your waiting room. And so like for my gym, for example, tiny local business, I think I had, a few hundred Yelp reviews between Yelp, Google, Facebook. I had about, a couple hundred reviews between all of those together. And so all I did was I screenshotted the review and I put it in a frame and I floor to ceiling made my entire lobby 5-star reviews. And so when someone walked into my lobby, they're like, damn, this place has a lot of 5-star reviews. All I did was take what was already online and I expanded it and I emphasized it. And so what we did there is that now when I'm making my offer, no one's gonna be like, well, how do I know it's gonna work? I would just be like, why do you think it won't work? Right? And so this is why having lots of proof is really important. And also the reason I want you to start doing this for free so you can get more case studies early so that when you have that person when you're asking for money later, you have proof. All right? Now, 4th is certifications, degrees, or third-party accreditations to show that you're legit. So if you have some sort of cert that's required for the work that you do, then show it. If you have a degree of some sort that's meaningful, then show it, of course. 5, number, stats, research that supports the outcome that you want them to believe in, right? So what I showed earlier, I showed that average company we have triples profit in the first 12 months. That's the average. You're just stating the facts. Now, 6 is experts vouching for you. So if you have somebody who has expertise in whatever this thing is, them vouching for you, if I said, hey, Elon Musk says Alex is awesome, like learn from Alex, that would look good for me. I could probably just show that 10-second video and people would be like, wow, it's good enough for Elon, good for me. What you're doing there is borrowing brand authority. And so if you don't have a big brand, borrowing someone else's brand authority works. Now you wanna make sure that you're getting their permission to do that, which is a key point. Don't be a scummy idiot and take a picture with somebody and then say that they endorse you because it's a great way to make everyone, your customers included, and that person now hate you. So don't do that. But if you do help somebody who does have esteem, which by the way is a great way to get early testimonials, is offer stuff for free. Just say, hey, if I do a great job, would you be willing to say this? And say it up front. Don't try and nick them later. Just say it up front. And some people will be willing to do that. 7, some unique or new characteristic that they haven't failed before with, all right? This is a little bit of the persuasion side of this, is that you can increase the likelihood that they believe it'll happen if you show a different vehicle for getting there than they've done in the past. And so if they fail using meal plans, but you show that you have this counting system that doesn't require a plan, then they might be like, oh, well, I haven't failed with this, I failed with that, and I can now believe that this would work for me. And this is a little bit in the selling process, but I wanted to highlight it because it is important. 8 is celebrities who've endorsed us. I only separate this out because an expert is different than a celebrity, right? If I had a PhD who said Alex is awesome versus a celebrity who said I was awesome, those are different. Guaranteeing that they'll achieve it fundamentally increases the likelihood that they're going to perceive that it'll happen, and especially if you put some skin in the game too, all right? Not just like I guarantee it, but you have to have the or what, like or else, like or what is going to happen if I don't deliver this. And the more the skin in the game you have on the or else side or the or what side, the more they will believe it. 10 is how well you describe them or their current pain they're experiencing. The more specific, the better. If you can perfectly describe the pains and problems that someone's experiencing in their current life, like nuanced to a level that they feel like you're in their head, they'll almost always believe that you can provide the solution based on how specifically you describe their problem. And this is why a lot of founders do a good job creating businesses around problems that they suffer from. Because they're like, I used to feel this way. So I know, like, I felt this way, I know how you feel because this is what I went through, and this is how I used to feel. And people are like, fuck, that's me. And then I found this, and this is what I started doing, and this is what happened. And I think you can do it too, right? And that feel, felt, found is that's like a mini script there. But the big idea here is that if you can describe it to them, they will believe you, if it's specific. 11, if possible, demonstrate the outcome live. All right, and this is a big one. If you have any kind of product or service, and this is where it takes marketing genius to figure this out, okay? Showing it happening in real time. So I got sold some cleaning product from a guy who was going gym to gym to gym. And he said, hey, do you have any? And he barely even asked. He's like, oh, I got that stain. He's like, let me clean it for you. And he took all these these really, like they were gum. It was gum that had been stamped into my turf. Possible to get out. And he had this stuff and he got rid of it. And I was like, hot damn. And he did like 2 or 3 spots and I was like, oh, that's nice. And he's like, hey. And he immediately was like, hey, this gym across the street all bought some. Do you want some? And so in like 60 seconds, he demonstrated value. He did it before my eyes. Perceived likelihood went through the roof. And then he showed social proof. And I was like, shit, how much is it? And I always appreciate the hustle. Guy's sweating. He's like, summer. It was $100 for some cleaning solution, which is ridiculous. It's probably $1. But how you feel, because this is what I went through, and this is how I used to feel. And people are like, fuck, that's me. And then I found this. They'll almost always believe that you can provide the solution based on how specifically you describe their problem. I was thinking about putting this separately, but I'm going to include this right now, is that there are 11 ways to increase perceived likelihood of achievement. I said it was one of the 4 variables. And so what we want to do is weave as many of these in as we can without seeming. And so if you have even less time, you're like, man, that's a lot of stuff. Basically, you're saying, hey, I help, we're asking if they know anyone, and we're asking if they know anyone who wants something for free. We're not even asking them to buy. We're asking if they want our lead magnet. That's massively discounted or free altogether. Do you know anybody who would want my book on leads? I just wrote it. It's free. Do you know any business owners who could benefit from that? Local businesses or national, either would work. Actually, well, tell me more about it. They showed interest in the thing we have to sell. One step forward. Now we have a conversation. And so if you have even less time, you're like, man, that's a lot of stuff. Basically, you're saying, hey, I help ideal customer get dream outcome in this time period without effort and sacrifice. And I've done this a lot of times. Here's some examples. All right, and this is the short and sweet version that works well for email, text, DMs, calls, in person, just fill in the blanks, okay? So I was thinking about putting this separately, but I'm going to include this right now, is that there are 11 ways to increase perceived likelihood of achievement. I said it was one of the 4 variables. And so what we want to do is weave as many of these in as we can without seeming overwhelming. And now you might not have all of these, but highlight the ones you do have. So one is we show proof that we have done what they want. So if I lost 100 pounds, or if I had a mental breakdown and then I no longer do, or I used to have a really messy house and I don't anymore, like whatever it was, or I had friends who had messy houses and I helped them clean it, I just tell my story. That's level 1. Level 2 is I show proof of people just like them getting what they want. This is stronger. The more people you show like them getting the outcome they want, the more likely they'll think that you can deliver it to them. 3 is just showing a sheer volume of happy reviews. Here's all the 5 stars I've gotten. Here's 100, Google 5-star reviews I have to show that. And if you're in an in-person setting, you can actually screenshot them and then post them in your waiting room.
Hello? There we go. Yo. some unique characteristic they haven't failed with before. So it might work this time. Characteristic they haven't failed with before. Associated. Okay. Past. Well, this time, for example, Bang, bang, bang. Which Wednesday? Okay. Which Wednesday? What was I doing? What was I gonna do? Oh, yeah, I was going to tell us it. Well, no, I was looking at calendar. Is it this Wednesday? Seeing Sue? No. It wasn't meant to be this Wednesday, was it? No. Thursday maybe, a Friday maybe, a Saturday, Sunday maybe. Is it 2 at some point? I swear it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Oliver's late. Sunday. What? Sue, June 11th. May, June 11th. Okay. Sure. Let's hope so. It's a long way away. Hope not to forget about that. Film talking. Objections. Okay, well that's genius idea of the day, and it's not necessarily genius coming from me, it's genius coming from Alex Hormozy. I picked up on that, and that's super important. So we have to do that. How well you can describe their current pain/situation. The more specific, the better. Guarantee or else. We have that. Characteristic. Find it. Find that. Find that. For finance, it will be the solution. We replace. Nice. Videos with CEOs. Do Chelsea. Because I will take initiative and do extra. Right, that's super important. I'm absolutely cooking. Absolutely cooking. This is actual work. This is actual action. I just want to put all the action into one place and then I can put it on like a time thing. Hold on, we gotta go back. Can I send a thingy? The mic is being used. I'll try doing it here. Yo, Rooster. How are things going? How is the book going? I'm not trying to nag you or anything, like that's not what I'm doing. I'm just letting you know, bro. I'm absolutely cooking right now. It's super exciting. I'm just going through. I've gone through the book, and same with the first book, the one that you're doing right now, that I've already done. With the second book, he's got like an online course for every single bit, so it's just easier to consume. But the reason why I'm going back through it is because now I'm doing action, and this is like a really good idea because I've learned so much just from reading the book. I'm glad I just read it first and like thought about it kind of thing, and wrote it down and stuff, and now I'm actually doing it in the context of our business. So yeah, I'm really glad I did that because I understand these things, and I'm hearing him say them again. So there's no like specific. I'm not missing any of the specifics, but I understand all the stuff. So that's cool. Yeah. So I came up with a genius idea. Basically, my dad came up with a really good idea. He named 4 different places that we can go to. As I explained before, 4 different places that we can go to before we actually go to your old company, and these are just lower risk people than your old company. So you had a work relationship, so basically something that your relationship with your old company will bank on, I guarantee, even though I wasn't there while you were there with them, is that it's like a professional thing. So you need to get a job done for them. So if you go back to them and you waste their time, they're not going to be happy with you. If I waste the 4 people's time that I've got in mind, there will be less backfire. They won't just shut us out, say no. It will be like kind of an L, but it won't be a massive issue. So basically, what we should do is go to Miney, the Hope store, which is run by a family friend, and is a physical store in town on the high street. It's really close to Town Church. It might be the first store on the left when you actually go to the like narrow road. I'm not sure. One of the first on the left. Charity shop. So that's another charity. And we'll be doing these for free, of course. So they're just not going to say no. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just genius. Getting yeses from them. We'll go to EC, maybe, if we can figure out a good enough automation. Because the thing is, there's a risk factor there. So we might go to EC, we can say, we can do this for you. And they might say, there is massive benefit in you guys installing this for us for free. However, if it goes wrong and sabotages things, then it affects the education of like hundreds of kids. So obviously that would be a major L, and so they might turn us down for that. It's fine. And then 4th one is like my aunt's company. So again, like that's a major L if we sabotage things, but they'll at least let us audit with them, so that's fine. We'll do the charities first. What we can do is we'll both go into these places and we will video record as professional as we can get it. I don't know how professional we should get it actually. We shouldn't go in there like vloggers, but we should put the camera, we should have a cameraman following us, and we should have a cameraman following us so we can get literally just one of our friends from EC. So that's Cold. I see you just messaged Cold. Yeah, bro, I definitely forgot to cite the rest. I've just seen that. Okay, so we do that. We go to each of the companies, and we say, and we record. And the reason why is because we need to demonstrate the outcome live in real time. This will increase our prospects' perceived likelihood that we will actually do the thing that we're saying we'll do. I'm sorry I'm waffling. I'm kind of waffling, but this is really important. This will be a massive lever. So we record the stuff and then we'll post it around kind of thing, edit it and stuff, edit stuff together. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. Basically demonstrating the outcome live. We'll film going to the Hope store. We'll film going to Sue Wilson's house. I could just do that, just me, because it's like an image of like a 2 big burly guys going into some small old woman's runs a charity, is a lovely person house. Let's not do that. We'll look like thugs and it'll just be a weird thing. So I'll go in, just me, because then I can also leverage the fact that, oh yeah, I've known Sue for ages. And if you've got any other equivalents, like, do that, because I've been working. I go to the same church as Sue. I've been working for Tumaini for free doing their web design, so it's really like that's so easy, and I can just explain that to the camera and stuff, and it will just be like a normal chat. So that will just be so easy. It will look like, oh, this is great. This is lovely to watch. Regardless, because this is like how charities interact kind of behind the scenes. So there'll be that interest factor, and that will get them to watch the video. And when they watch the video, there'll be a trust factor. So you see what I'm saying? So if there's an equivalent for you where you think just you doing it would be awesome, then do that. That'd be so cool. And then we'll get those together. We can release them on an interval, so it looks like we're doing actually more than we're doing. So if we actually just use the amount of content that we can, that would be awesome. It'll just and yeah, we'll just film us talking about it, and then we'll film us going back and showing what we've done. So we'll explain, okay, this is how this is going to work. What we've decided is auditing your business, we've designed this workflow, this automation, this AI agent, and this is what it can do for your company. I think that'll be really cool, bro. If we do that, people are going to be able to basically have an insider look into what we do, and then it's just so free. And also, I'll be uploading that to my I'll do like a my version cut that's for like my personal brand, because I'm not going super all in on it, but basically I've got a personal brand where I'm just like delivering like just what I'm doing on a day to day. So yeah, hope that sounds good. Let me know. Yeah, actually, bro, just from that point above, I'm not gonna lie, I reckon GSY AI is the play. Just from that point above, because otherwise, Brandly, like they get a foot in the door, like they get one over us. We look plain and boring. They look cool, calm, approachable, modern. We're the young ones who look old as hell. Like, we sound like contractors. We sound boring. It sounds grey, if you know what I mean. I think GSY AI has the residential bonus while having that social. It's just approachable, slightly satirical. I think it's the play. I can't lie. I did agree with you up to like just until what I've reasoned above, But let me know what you think. I do see what you're saying. That being said, solutions, I think you got to remember, like, there are a lot of small companies as well who, I don't know. I think you're right. I think your point's super valid. I was about to make a point against it, but yeah, I don't. That being said, bro, I don't really mind, but I do actually I think we should test it. You know what? We should genuinely test it. We should ask people, go around and ask people, and don't take a bias. I'm just gonna go around and ask people. I'm gonna say, this is what, like, say you were a company, and we can ask our friends, and we can ask the people we go to before your old company. That's a bosh. Let's do that. How are we gonna do that? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Text you. Okay, let's go to it. I go to my Discord. Cool, cool, cool. How can I see the chat? Can I see the chat? Top chat, there we go. Chat rate. No one's chatting. Okay, cool. So that's a genius idea, and then we had the name. We're just testing the name, and then we'll test the lead magnet name. I had more in here somewhere. Lead magnet names, leads, $100 million leads. These ideas. Here they are. Since I'm only taking on 5 people, I can give you all the attention you need to get brag-worthy results. I'll leave it all for free as long as you promise to 1. Give it a feedback. Back on the grind. Download. Ba-ba-bow, ba-ba-bow. Ooh, you can see what I'm doing on my screen. Hmm. Where am I putting this? Notion somewhere. Warm outreach. And then we'll put the script here. Actually no, because it's very much an actionable thing. Put it here. Oh no. Delete. Such page. Script. Nice. Did I just delete the acquisition tab? Okay. Leads course. Oh, what are you doing? New source. Text.
guys, Hennis here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to add a countdown timer to OBS. The first thing you're going to want to do is navigate to the link in the description down below to the OBS plugin countdown kit update. Simple plugin with some pretty cool functionality that allows you to add a basic countdown timer to OBS. To download, come over here on the right hand side of the releases, click the latest, and then scroll down. And download for your platform. Since I'm running Windows, I download the Windows x64 installer.exe. Once you've got it downloaded, before you open it up and install, just make sure you don't
Um, to allow the download. MacBook. System settings, privacy and security. So I've downloaded that.
have OBS open. Once you're all set, just double click open the installer. You can get this Windows Defender.
Make sure you don't have OBS open. I'm done. Alright, stopping the stream.